if we now know that Notre Dame does not belong on the field with a playoff team, why are they in the playoff? If we know that for certain, if yesterday nullified their best win, you cannot look at Notre Dame's resume and say that, well, they had a win against Clemson. No, it doesn't mean anything. It means precisely zero if at full strength, Clemson on a neutral field is up 34-3 before garbage time, right? Like, to me, that is an obvious thing. Now, the counterpoint is, I have not made a case for Texas A&M,
right,
and it's very difficult to. I have not made a case for Cincinnati. It's very difficult to. I have not made a case for Oklahoma or anybody on the outside looking in.
What you've made a case for is that there shouldn't be a playoff, which is a point that you've been driving home since 2015.
Right. Notre Dame, for all of its good, is going to play against Alabama as what you just told me was a 20.5 at the moment point underdog. In a search for the country's best, one of those teams that is purported to be one of the top searchers is a 3-touchdown underdog. Now, not saying Cincinnati wouldn't be a 35-point underdog or A&M wouldn't be a 24-point underdog, etc. But we don't have yesterday data on either of those teams that would say they can't hang. We have yesterday data that tells us that Brian Kelly is a November coach, that Notre Dame is a November team. We have years now of evidence of that on Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Ty. How do you like that branding?
Not as much as you do.
Basic Brian.
Not as much as you do.
Pumpkin Spice Brian Kelly.
Okay.
Basic Brian. Because that's what they are. And we talked about this, and we'll preview the game. It fully nullifies a very, very good Notre Dame season. That we have to put Notre Dame in this context because they had a very good year. This was a very good Notre Dame team that didn't belong on the same field as a playoff team. Fact. And so now we have to pretend that, like, oh, well, maybe the Notre Dame offensive line can handle a very strong Alabama front. It's a charade. It's a total charade.